Hi there, welcome to the channel. Today we are here with Origin Yachts in Poole to have a look at this Larson Cabrio 857 that's currently available for sale. Lovely blue hull, nicely well fendered. As you can see, we will have a look on board, but you can see lovely big searchlight on the front, sun lounging cushions and a decent size anchor. Got the canopy sort of half up, half down today because it's a nice day but a bit breezy. Let's go and have a look on board. So starters, synthetic teak all the way across the bathing platform and also in the cockpit area as well. A really nice little aft facing go along seat. So the idea is you can sit down here, look over the back of the boat and see the wash spraying away from you as you go, or have a nice drink whilst you watch the sun go down. As you would expect, down here we have a swim platform ladder. There's looks like a water tap over there for the shower, couple of cup holders, flagpole and fender cleats on both sides. Looks like there's also some deck lighting. Not sure what that is. I would imagine that's part of the shower, but I could be wrong. It's a little pop out door here, so that closes in here. Take a step back, you can see, so then if you have children or dogs or just generally, it's a really good way of stopping people falling out as they're going along. Behind the door is the main trip panel. So in here we've got the master switch for the batteries and the trips for all the bits and pieces you can see there. Just close that back up. The door then poppers into place, keeping it, stopping it from banging when it's when you're underway. Then this entire area here is made up of seating. This seat, I believe, is fixed. I mean, it does fold up, I understand, and then gives you some storage underneath. There's your shore power and your shore power trip in there as well. Good place to keep wet ropes. Into the cockpit, the usual seating that you would expect, nice C-shaped seating with a table around, and then this table drops down and you can infill it with an infill cushion. I'll drop in a picture so you can see what that looks like. But for a boat of this size, it's actually quite spacious in the back here, and what's nice is you've got a decent channel, so you can sit down here whilst you're going along. You can have the people on the helm, somebody on the chaise longs, but you can all actually still move around the boat quite comfortably for a smaller boat, which is nice. On the port side we have a galley, sort of cockpit galley, lovely corian or granite, whatever that is, mixer tap, really nice deep sink, the obligatory cup holders which you really do need on a boat when you're going along, and an isotherm fridge down here. Pretty standard fridge. As you can see, there's speakers around the place. This boat also has the benefit of Eberpacher warm air heating, and it looks like there's a heating vent in the cockpit, which is really, really nice. More storage down there. The rest of this canopy is with the boat. It's just currently zipped out because it's it was earlier anyway, a mildly nice day. But again, when you're going along, it's nice to actually be able to zip the entire front canopy out because it gives you really good forward visibility, removes any blind spots. As I mentioned before, there's a chaise longs down here. I never pronounced that right, so I do apologise, but the idea with that is it gives you space in the undersole cabin, the aft cabin if you like. Starboard side is the helm position, as you always expect these days now. Bolster seat, so you can lift that up to stand, drop it down if you want to sit. Footrest down the bottom there. Underneath the helm position here we have an array of braking switches. There's the Fireboy engine automated alarms, fire suppression system, 12-volt cigarette lighter or charger if you like, and it looks like there's another storage locker down here. There you go, in there. VHF ship shore radio, usual array of carling switches as we often say. That, I believe, is the controller for the remote control spotlight that's on the foredeck. Raymarine Axion 7, I would guess that is. And it's a really good example of how well this boat's looked after. Someone's actually got reminders here of what they need to do, either when they arrive or when they leave. which shows you a boat's been well looked after. Over this side you have the engine blower and the ignition alarm, audio controls, conventional throttle with the trim controller, so you can control the up and down trim of the leg, of the outdrive leg. Using the trim tabs you can then control the side to side movement of the boat and control the up and down angle of the boat as you're going along. Love a bow thruster, so really straightforward. If you want the boat to, or the front or the bow of the boat to move to the right, push it to the right. Want to hold the bow in or move it to port side, you can do so like so. Engine instrumentation, as you would expect, so RPM, engine battery voltage, those sorts of bits and pieces. Good old-fashioned conventional compass as a backup, which is always good to have. Then there's a large sliding door here. Slide that across like so, and then if you want to move forward, quite logically, it's 3 steps up. We'll unclip the windscreen from here, we'll fold that over there, and then quite easily you can move yourself forward onto the foredeck, where you can now see that really large sun deck cushion. I'm going to be careful because I've got socks on, so if I do go overboard I do apologise. Anchor winch, there's access to the anchor locker there. Those 2 flips here are switches to control the anchor winch, and then as you'd expect there's a couple of cleats on the foredeck. It's actually quite a nice little slot here where you can sit yourself down in the footwell and, a bit like the aft, have a look over the bow, have a quick look back. Like most of these smaller American style cruisers, there isn't really a side deck. There is a foot hole half the way around so you can get to the midships cleats on both sides. Same on that side, but as you go into the cockpit area, as you would expect, it reduces to no side deck, and the reason for that is it then gives you a much larger, much more sociable and more practical and more usable cockpit area. So let's just pop back down here, fold the windscreen back into place, and as always it's a good idea to lock it in place, stop it popping open. You'll also notice if I take a step back, there is a CCTV camera up here and a nice cockpit LED cockpit light, which is nice. So we slide this door back across, obviously we lose the steps, but we then gain access to the saloon. It's a little bit dark down here today because obviously those cushions that we looked at up here, there, are covering the main source of light, which is the forehatch. But nevertheless, we'll go and have a look inside. Step onto this little storage bin, quick turn around and you can see, great place to store your rubbish. That chaise longue, which again I apologise if I've got it wrong, obviously gives you a window and light into the aft sleeping area, which you can see is actually surprisingly large. It's very much full-size double bed and goes all the way back and has a window for illumination, if not opening on both sides. Couple of reading lights, which is really nice. As I mentioned earlier, it also has Eberpacher warm air heating with a thermostatic controller, audio system as well, selection of lockers, and here we go. Here's the control panel for the inside. And down here we have a little bit of extra storage. Then to the galley area. And again, what they've done really well on this boat is they've dropped the floor down, so the main section of the floor is sunken. So it just gives you the ability, if I turn around you can see that a bit better, it just gives you a lot more standing headroom. Most boats of this size you would be crouching, yet here I am with still surprisingly good headroom above me, and even moving forwards up to the head of the table, still really good headroom. So look at the galley. Storage cupboard down here, another isotherm fridge there, a Dometic hot plate, moulded sink, a little bit of extra storage at the back here, more storage here, decent storage lock, sort of recess there, space up top and over here, and you can see the side windows on both sides which add a bit of illumination. And here is that the aforementioned forehatch, which normally would let in light if you didn't have the sun cushions over the top. Large table here, as you can see. That red button over there is the emergency battery kills for the bow thruster. Recessed storage down the sides, which is nice. TV at the head of the bed. Well, I suppose it would be a bed, because I'm very confident you can drop this table down and then infill that with cushions to give yourselves a large double berth. Similar thing on the other side, you have got the storage space in there. There's a main socket in here. Just a really spacious boat for the overall size. Not forgetting, of course, one, that there is a decent cupboard in here. It's got all the crockery in it and a few tools at the bottom there, but that could be used for anything you choose. Space on the top here for your towels, and then in here we have the heads, which again is actually bigger than you'd expect. Nice vacuum flush loo, very deep sink, storage locker underneath, bit of storage over there, more storage in here behind the mirror, and then a fairly conventional shower. Obviously the water drains from the shower onto the floor. There's quite a decent lip, and then drains away under the side there. There is a shower curtain here and pumps itself out over the side. So I've owned a boat of this size, and I'll be honest with you, this is a lot bigger than the Chaparral that I had. So it's a really well designed, well thought out boat. So let's just conclude this tour with a quick peek in the engine bay, and that does involve me fiddling around with a few bits and pieces. So I'm going to probably leave the table and fold the seats down, unlock it, lift it up, and then I'll catch up with you when we've done that. So here we go. I've folded one of the seats down, lifted the leg supports up on the back seat, popped the table out, and we now have access to the engine bay. So really easy access hatch. It's on a couple of gas struts, so easily self-supported. In here we have a Mercruiser Magnum 350 engine. So a single petrol, but very, very easy to work on. And the access around the engine bay is really, really good as well, as you can see. So over there is the holding tank. Just behind it down here, where are we? There's the macerator. Do the pump the loo out. There's a battery charger over there. There's the fire suppression system we saw the switch for on the dashboard. Battery bank number 1, battery bank number 2 over there, and then down that grey box over here is the hot water system, and I don't know what that is. It's a fuel tank of some sort, and there's a water tank I would imagine over there. But either way, a very spacious, very easy to get around engine bay. So we'll drop the engine hatch down there. So there you go, that is Hot Ice. Really clean, really well looked after, really nice example. Hope you've enjoyed the tour. Thanks for watching. Do please subscribe and like, and any comments, I'd appreciate your feedback. Thank you very much.